Life is precious. Every moment contemplating the essence. Lessons from transgressions. Progression from adolescence. Document verified our blessings. And the first you gotta be present. Scrolling through the timeline, but they ain't get the message. Not meaning what they saying like it was auto-corrected. Acknowledge what you talking, but I ain't gotta respect it. Not always online, but always staying connected. Food for thought, the most important is breakfast. There's snakes in the grass, watch who you rap with. They take what they need and they make an exit. As quick as it came, as quick as it go. The type to get you all twisted. The show might stab you in the back, yet be calling you bro. All we ever really wanted was a simple things. Not a lot, just a little of the simple things. From the bottom to the top, yeah, we made it. Never pay attention to the people that be hating. Only that cause they ain't got the simple things. No tomorrow's not promised, so we live in the moment. Learn from the past, for that we steady making atonements. Hear the youth say we can't identify, beg to differ. Grew up in the era where you can never slip up. Lost too many friends to drugs, jail, and diabetes. Burn the L after L to try to take it easy. Time keeps slipping, and history repetitive. We used to burn the chronic, now they tweaking on sedatives. Look before you leaping out the window. Trying to do the dance, but you don't even get the tempo. Professional, tell you fake it till you make it. Success coming, they start displaying their hatred. It's rules to the game, we stay dedicated. From the basement, no question, we elevated. And made changes for the best so the future look brighter. And keep the negativity out the sight for. All we ever really wanted was a simple things. Not a lot, just a little of the simple things. From the bottom to the top, yeah, we made it. Never pay attention to the people that be hating. Only that cause they ain't got the simple things. Simple things. Simple things. Simple things. Simple things. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Monday night. You all tuned into the Urban Conservative Podcast. This is one half. This is Raheem Architect Soto. Y'all just saw the new video, Simple Things. Bro, what's up? You good?
Not a lot, just a little of the simple things. Yeah, son. Love that song, bro. I love that
Yeah, I
song.
appreciate that. So, yeah, folks, Monday
Yeah,
night
man.
it is. You are tuned into the Urban Conservative Podcast. And, we're doing our Monday night thing. Hope everybody's doing well. Of course, you can check out the website, tuconservative.com, if you want to support the podcast. Again, you can also check us out everywhere you listen to podcasts. And if we're not there, make sure you get in the comment section and be like, yo, we on this thing and y'all not on this thing, and get on this thing and we'll get on that thing. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if that requires a pause, but pause all of those.
Get on. Yeah, well, listen, I also, while we in the beginning of this, bro, I got to give a big shout out to all of the Republicans that are having their county conventions. We know it's a crazy time. We getting things back in order, picking new leadership, getting ready to get things in order for 2024. We got a lot to talk about in that regard and what's coming up. But big ups to Craven County, big ups to Carteret County for letting me stop through, and for Pasquotank and Currituck and all the good spots I done bounced through this weekend. Shouts out to everybody. So, bro, we're talking tonight about how Republicans can win in 2024.
Right. And hey, listen, I don't even think it's an if, right? Because some people are framing the question like if we can win in 2024, which I think is a mistake. I don't think it's a if. I think it's a almost a foregone conclusion because of how terrible the left, the Democrats in leadership have done things. So I just don't see it going their way. I think even Democrats have had enough.
Well, let me ask this question then. All things considered, right? All things considered, as bad as the economy was in the 2022 midterm, you would have thought Republicans did better. So what do you say to the people that are like, oh, the Republicans didn't do that good in the first place anyway?
You're miserable. You're miserable. If you think that, you're miserable. You just have a miserable.
Great cycle
but
in North
listen,
Carolina.
listen. If you think that the Republicans didn't meet nothing meets your criteria, then if what just happened, you're probably one of those people that don't come to very many Republican things, don't walk and get very many signatures, don't do very much donating, but always have something to complain about. You're
I
that
got it.
person.
Since you mentioned that, I want to take a quick diversion here, bro, because you
No,
just
no
mentioned something.
diversions. Come on.
No, because it's important. You have to do it, right? You have to do it.
Factually.
Okay. So you have to go out there and get signatures to help get Republican candidates on the ballot, right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay. You physically have to take your walk book and go to the door and get
Yes,
people
sir.
to sign something. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you've got to do that hundreds upon hundreds of times, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So do you think that that system of requiring a candidate to get on the ballot or requiring that signature verification, does that make it closer? Does that make it easier, give you more opportunities, or are you guys just getting them from people that are already Republican? Because I was always curious about what that was like knocking doors.
So you get a walk book. It has a list of the Republicans and possibly some information about the last election they voted in or how long they've been a registered Republican or what that is, and an address. And you go knock on the door. Hi, my name is Raheem. I'm volunteering for the blase blah blah blah. We're out getting bubbly boop 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 for our candidate, but boop bop bop, and then they slam the door in your face, tell you screw her for to be happy to where you gotta remember, and unfortunately this what makes where we live so interesting, because we live in a place where there's your regulars, but a lot of these folks, this is they're registered to vote here, they have homes here, but they're just not here because it's too cold. It's just too cold. If you got the money to be here,
wow.
You're like empty. You don't. Some of these houses, you don't even have to get out and look. You don't have to get out and knock on the door. You just look. You're like, okay, that's 13 rooms, no vehicles, only the hallway chandelier, saving the walk.
Saving the walk. All right. So here's what I was at. I diverted off to that because I was just curious about it. So we're talking about, you said it's not an if question. You got to know Republicans are going into 24 looking a lot better, but still, all of the stuff that they're doing well. You and I were talking off air about Dan Bishop and the guys that fought for some structural changes in Congress. But how does that translate to these urban communities where Republicans aren't really competing? And that's something I've pushed here and you've pushed there in New York. So we're going to talk a little bit. I don't know if you want to take a break right around now, if we want to do that now, or we want to come right back. But we need to talk about how we can get this urban messaging right into urban communities. That's really where the problem is at.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break because I was slipping. I didn't do the disclaimer in the intro, nothing. So y'all about to get hit with a disclaimer real quick, and we'll be right back.
This season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com.
This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description. Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned into on a beautiful Monday night, the Urban Conservative Podcast with yours truly, Raheem Architect Soto, and my twin brother, Abdul Ali. Again, thank you for checking us out. Make sure to visit the website, tuconservative.com. And we will be back on top of the morning this week. It has been a hectic last week.
Crazy last
we have not been able to be at the top of your morning because at the top of the morning, we have been handling a gazillion other things. That eventually when things, when the what did he say in that film when he said the poo poo hits the fan? Once the fan has been done, the fan has been turned off and things have been cleaned up, you'll understand why last week was real crazy. It's
Yeah,
crazy,
real
crazy
crazy.
week. We
And
couldn't do
yo,
top of the morning last week. It was nuts.
I gotta give a special happy birthday shout out to my homeboy Jack Lambert. Today, young Jack turns 22.
Oh
Gotta give him a
man,
big shout out to the homie Jack Lambert,
yo,
vice chairman
somebody get Jack a
of
knee
the
brace. He's
Cabarrus
22.
GOP. Yeah, man. Great dude. Great young man. Wonderful, hardworking parents, man. Good people. A lot of respect for them. Happy birthday to Jack. So, bro, we're talking about the urban messaging from Republicans because they don't seem to get the point. Well, and I won't say seem to get the point. That's a little harsh. But we're not doing,
It's
I think,
all right. So
as
there's a
much
way.
as we could do.
Well, there's two issues with this, right? One of these issues is people who get involved sometimes get involved from a very egotistical place, and for us to make inroads into these urban communities, some of the things that what we've noticed that is it takes genuine people. You really can't go into these communities on some politician vibes because it's not going to work. People are not stupid. They may not be as articulate as you, but they're not stupid. So I think a big mistake that we make is that in a lot of these areas, we don't have people in the leadership position that feel comfortable. They have a reservation. They feel they put a lot of roadblocks in front of themselves, right? You know, like, oh, we don't see color. This is a repetitive thing that I hear from GOP to GOP,
Right.
you know, locally, that we don't see color. Well, I'm going to need you to see color, because seeing color doesn't necessarily, it goes beyond the color of my skin. It goes into the culture. It goes
Right.
into understanding things.
And what I've said to my Republican friends is I say, look, I know what you mean when you say you don't see color. What you mean to say is you treat people according to the content of their character and not the color of their skin, and I get that. But I'm clearly brown. Like clearly. Like so that's one of those nuanced things that we gotta, we train our folks, we talk to them, we try to do that. But here's the bigger thing though, right? So you look in North Carolina, there's like a raise the age law. One of the things we hear the liberals talk about, people on the left talking, and you and me have both heard this, bro, where people say, oh, it's the school to prison pipeline and the young black man in the prison system, and they got to get the young man in the prison system early. So they pass a law here raising the age that you can be charged with a criminal offense. You just took a whole bunch of young people who are getting in trouble out of the adult criminal justice system. And you made things like teen court possible and diversion programs possible. But that's not something that the Republicans here take public ownership of and are able to articulate to these communities that these are things that they led the way on. Matter of fact, the brother Joel Ford, if you remember the state senator we had on the show, he got in a lot of trouble for supporting the Republican Party and supporting the raise the age law. The Democrats went after him over that. So there's things, there's policy things. Look in North Carolina now at the fact that we've got all of this surplus of money. That means we're doing the right thing by the taxpayer. We're lowering taxes. You're keeping more money in your pocket, bro. And we're steadily complaining. But that's why I was asking you before. Like, do you think apparently because of the 22 results, some people would make the argument that it doesn't matter how bad the pressure is. If you keep up the racist argument, you keep up the emotional, social arguments, the social justice arguments, it doesn't matter what you say because these urban areas are so liberal and conservatives are never going to budge on, like, I guess, transgenderism and LGBTQ stuff. They're not going to budge on that.
Well, I don't think they have to budge on it, but I one thing I do know is that the folks that are currently making decisions, and respectfully, like when I say this, right? If you live, we're gonna need New York City to win New York. We're gonna, as a GOP here, we're gonna have to make. We did a great. See, Kev said it best, redefining success, right? When you look at what the lead, yes, we should have had Lee Zeldin as our governor here in New York. Absolutely, we should have had that, right? But when you look at the inroads made, you can't look at that as a loss, really. We lost the campaign, but we didn't lose the war here, because there's another one coming
right around the bend.
You've made up ground. So if you've
Right
taken
around the
a
bend.
D plus 35 and turned it into a D plus whatever, to you making ground, and you can increase. So if you see something like what Lee and Allison Esposito and even all of the wonderful candidates like Joe Pinion, if you were able to
Yo,
look at,
wait. Lee Zeldin only lost by 7 points.
see, but my point was, before that, it wasn't a Republic. It was almost thought of it was like a Republican running for governor of New York. Ha 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 ha. So
Wow.
my point is that, for one, we have to, as I think, for us to win and make those inroads in those communities, we have to look at, again, measuring success a little bit differently. We have to measure what we think the ideas of success are as a party, and be able to, because there's like this division of the grassroots and the establishment, etc., which I think is harmful, but it's also somewhat useful to recognize that's a thing. Some people don't feel comfortable, which is weird, under the tent of the GOP. And we have to start really vetting the people we're putting in the positions. We have to, I mean, you look at this George Santos thing, this guy has really, people like that have really tarnished the reputation. And I personally, I don't think he runs again. I don't think he should. But we can't have folks with uh that type of situation going on. It's absolutely not useful at all. So we're gonna take a quick commercial break. And then when we come back, Ali, I wanna pull up our leadership structure on a national level and take a look at that. You see some good folks in this picture, and I really think we have an interesting shot with the people that we
Wait a
have
minute.
in leadership.
Wait a minute. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. I've actually been in a room with 4 of those people.
Okay.
Huh.
Cool. We'll talk
Interesting.
about that after the commercial. That sounds interesting.
Be
Yeah.
right back.
Let's do that. Commercial. Do we do a commercial right now? Yeah, I guess we do.
Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com.
All right, folks. Here is our Republican leadership here. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And
we got Mitch McConnell,
look, Ali.
head of the squad. Okay.
I want this video to get to these folks. I'd like, please share this video with these folks, because there are strategies that
Mitch McConnell, tag him.
that we are not using, that are pretty over the plate and fairly simple. I think
I
this
know
is
one of those people right there.
this has been, I think, the idea, right, that this community engagement, this urban engagement that we do, is complicated and takes a whole lot. Nope, it doesn't.
Not really.
Nope, didn't take a whole lot. Now,
Yo,
what
that
it
guy
does,
right there, and hold on, and I want you to go back up, and I want folks to realize why we're looking at this, because this is the Republican Senate leadership right here. These are the Senate Republicans. These are the people that are up there, doing, hopefully doing what's right by us. And some of the names are familiar. Some of the names are not familiar. You all know who Ted Cruz is. You all know who Lindsey Graham is.
that's an old ass Lindsey Graham picture right there.
That is definitely not a fresh Lindsey Graham picture, but that's okay. It's interesting because when you get to know some of these people, I know John Kennedy, had a chance to meet him. Great guy right there. I actually did a national security briefing with Lindsey Graham and Ted Budd while he was out on a campaign trail, and we did a couple of events with Ted Budd. But this is the team. These are the folks that we got taking us into 2024. We've got a couple of seats up. I think Tim Scott's seat is up in 24. So we're gonna see what he does.
We need to get this putz out of here.
I mean, but Utah doesn't want to let.
Respectfully.
Other than Salt Lake City, Utah, what's the major city in Utah? What cities are in Utah? Salt Lake City and what else?
Don't the homie Ari, don't Ari be in Utah? I gotta ask him.
Ask Eric. I don't know. Like somebody get in the comments. Let them know what else other than Salt Lake City is in Utah.
And they're
Because I
like,
think that's the one major urban area, is Salt Lake City, right?
if
I've
you
met
call
Rick
that
Scott before. I think
you
I
want to
know.
call that urban?
I mean, sure. I mean, is
mean,
there any like Salt Lake City rappers? Maybe.
What?
There's like Salt Lake City. Like it's a city, right? So they got to have rappers in Salt Lake City.
Okay, maybe, but I don't know. Do you guys think with this Republican leadership we can pull this out? Because let's look at something here. If the blue states are having the crime issues like New York, we're all having issues. Let's not act like there's nothing. These Republican states are the most incredible. There's nothing happening in the Republican states that is net. No one is suggesting that. No one is. That wouldn't be objectively true, right? That
because
there's no.
Mitch McConnell got a lot of poverty in his state. There's a lot of poverty there, bro.
But but listen, if you think about this, right? California, for example, they're ran by Democrats. So when we start to look at, can we win in 2024? I'm going to go back to this, looking at this team and knowing how frustrated people are, Ali. It becomes imperative that the people understand the pressure. And when I say pressure, most of these people, and I'm gonna jump out on the ledge here and say most of these people, because I know you can pick up the phone and get people on the phone, Ali. I know if I didn't know you can get Ted Budd on the phone, if I didn't know you can get certain people on the phone, I'm gonna pretty much assume most of these people are like that. You understand what I'm saying? In so much as that they would be responsive to their constituency. It's just something that I'm gonna jump out on the ledge and say I think these people, for the most part, would be responsible to their, responsive rather to their constituency. So the pressure needs to come in, is that we on the right don't think we have a monopoly on all the ideas and how to get things done, but it takes connecting the dots. So the strategies that we've been able to apply to help win races in North Carolina, help win races here across New York, out east in Suffolk County. These ideas that people have in New York City, Republicans and conservative groups have in New York City, we need to get to these people so they can see how to do what we've been doing. How to get more Black leadership into the GOP at a local level, right, Ali? How to get more, not just Black, but obviously Latino, Hindi, whatever represent.
Pick,
we need
pick your demographic here. It's an insert demographic here. Right.
With people want to be involved, and we can do a better job conveying the policy ideas, the idea of really getting good people to become involved in their committees and run for, I'm a big fan of what you guys did down there by working towards making those school board races partisan. I think that's an amazing idea. I think that's absolutely great.
I knew going into my chairmanship there were some things that we wanted to try to focus on, and some people had a lot of questions about how we did that and why we did that, and I'll tell you, it's really about putting the vote in the hands, the power to choose a candidate in the hands of a voter, and taking the parties out of that primary process. So it was really a way to just get the power into the hands of the voter, because it's not up to the Republican Party, 7 people running. Now it's up to the voter to decide out of all of those people, and we don't get to put a thumb on the scale, and we just got to go. We put our 3 Republicans up. We put our 3. They put their 3 Democrats up, and that's what you got. Now, interestingly, Ra, when we talked earlier about you having to go get signatures, in doing that, a part of that is if you're an unaffiliated candidate and you want to run for school board in Cabarrus County, you now got to go get 2,500 signatures.
And how much do the other candidates have to get?
If you're a Republican, you're on the ballot. If you win the primary, if you're a Democrat, you're on the ballot. If you win your primary, but if you, in order to even be on the ballot as an unaffiliated voter, you gotta go out there and get 2,500 signatures.
I don't think that's a lot.
Nah, but I'm just saying, because there's 50,000 Republicans, there's 47,000 Democrats, and there's about 50,000 unaffiliated. And then when you look at the average number of people who vote in those, early elections, those primary elections, it's around a fair number. It's actually a little less than the average turnout for those primaries. So I think that's a fair thing to do, is to say, hey, if you're a serious candidate, you'll be able to go out there and do this. But again, I think that again puts it right in the hands of the voter. But the other thing to look at is this too, because you were talking about conveying the message and really, going out there and talking to people. I think that's the one thing Republicans have to not be afraid to do, is go into the urban areas, engage with different type of marketing tactics and different strategies, and really not be afraid to be themselves, bro. I go to somebody, like I do some of the cookouts.
Yeah,
and the
but you know what
Republicans,
though? Yeah, but there's
like,
this
you don't gotta
idea you
change it
gotta be
up.
perfect though. There's this
Right.
idea, right, that there's this, and this is unfortunate, that there's this contention of people who have their heads so far up their own behinds that they think they're the arbiters of what a true conservative is. You hear this saying that he ain't no true conservative. Like, yo, shut the boop up. Who
Listen,
died
bro,
and made you the arbiter of who a conservative is? No one did that. God didn't come down and said, my son or daughter, you are now the archangel of who a true conservative is, and be blessed and go. No, that didn't happen. You're not in charge.
Right. Well, the circular firing squad thing does apply to the extent that, and look, I'm very sensitive to the fact, as a county party chairman, bro. I'm very sensitive to the fact that we're talking largely about when we're talking about the Republican Party.
But
folks,
can we win in 24 when we got people? Hold on. Let me ask this question.
We're talking about a largely volunteer organization.
Hold on. Let me ask this
tell
question.
them they can't participate.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
How? You can't do that, man.
Why? Why?
Because it's. I mean, look.
Right, but
I guess what
okay. At what point?
What?
At what point? So let me ask this question. You have people that have been in the Republican Party proper, in the chartered organizations, that have been in these organizations. Some people have been giving their time, effort, money, homes, businesses, resources to the party for decades. Have been serving the community for decades. You have people who are, I don't know what the equivalent, they've quote unquote been red pilled. Now all of a sudden they're a political superhero because they watch Tucker Carlson, and they between Tucker and Bannon, these guys are like, they show up, and here's the thing, and I'm not saying it's a problem, but what I'm saying is, to discredit and to become nasty and volatile and disgusting and belligerent and manipulative and conniving with the organization of people that have been serving the committee because you feel like you need some power, or you feel like you feel like the Republican the party thing, the social part that comes with it, Ali, like the social part that everybody knows everybody, and it's always people to me. It's usually people to me that have money. I notice this a lot. Some of them don't, a lot of them don't, but some of them do, and they feel like this is a social outlet. And how you feel about me is irrelevant. The tax rate in our community, the ambulance response time, the level of homelessness,
absolutely
the suspension rate for our children, the resources for our police.
Yeah.
Hey, what about those things? So this is what I was asked. This is essentially what I was saying before I went on that extra rant for no reason. Because
needed rant though. If we had the applause button thing, I would have applauded your rant.
I only table this because for us to win in 24, we absolutely have to let you. Yes, you want people to participate, but you also want people that are gonna do more good than harm. You want people that are gonna come in and want to work on a team. You gotta wanna work with people that are gonna know, hey, we're all adults. We all have different. Hold on. We all have different ideas. We all see things differently, and we're not always gonna agree. And then be able to disagree respectfully about something that is objectively makes sense to disagree about. So like I said earlier, you got people who you're never too conservative enough for them. You're never, no matter what you do, you're never going to make the right decision for them. So we don't need those folks. We need, or at least we need them to come and hand out the flyers, but we don't need you in leadership because you don't know how to work in the team. I think for us to win in 24, we got to make sure from the counties to the auxiliary groups that people with moral fiber, people with integrity, people that understand relationship building, people that understand that it takes a team to accomplish these things. If we don't have that at the quote unquote grassroots foundational level, it's going to be a crap show. So I'll leave it there. That's my take on it.
No, that another great rant, ladies and gentlemen. Here,
yeah, we need a segment called "Another Great Rant."
I think we're gonna start that. Here's another great rant, ladies and gentlemen. You're checking out the Urban Conservative Podcast. It's a Monday night. You're chilling with the TUC Twins. If you haven't done so already, please go give us some love at tuconservative.com. Get yourself one of those Hamilton plans. It's only $10. It's been $10. That's the way we keep doing what we do here at the Urban Conservative. Rob, we taking a quick commercial break, or we're gonna
No, it's been 30 minutes and we are officially wrapping up the Monday night show because guess what? There's gonna be a part 2 of this, and we gotta get up in the morning and do top of the morning because tomorrow's the day Trump's supposed to get arrested. So, I want to be ahead of this.
Yeah.
I want to wake up
tomorrow morning, Trump versus everybody. We gonna see.
Yeah. And I just realized we're at the 31-minute mark. Shouts out to our sponsors. We appreciate everybody's support. Again, we will see you tomorrow morning for top of the morning. And we'll be back here every Monday night, 8 p.m. for the Urban Conservative Podcast.
Hey, real quick. If you're watching in North Carolina and you're in the Davidson, North Carolina area tomorrow, 6 p.m., Yarborough's Restaurant. Gonna be up there with the Davidson County Republican women. So if you're up that way, looking forward to seeing y'all.
10-4. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Urban Conservative Podcast for Monday, March. I ain't saying the date because then, all right, y'all, peace and love. We out of here.